I never thought I could pull a one-day build off, but that experience was truly eye-opening, and now I want to make a merchant fleet. Welcome to a new series, and welcome to Cut, Transform, Glue. Okay, so these smaller scale projects are not only super fun to build, but they also give me opportunities to use some very weird gribblies that I've been keeping in my collection for a long time, and this was definitely the case right here. As I said in the title of the video, I had so much fun building that first one day built spaceship that I decided and also was encouraged by my patrons to start a merchant fleet. The idea of making many little spaceships that could be featured in a cool diorama side by side sounded amazing. Also, I'm really loving this new looser approach to builds and expressing ideas quickly, trying different scales and making choices that I really wouldn't make if I was like super serious, heads down into a complex project. I'm definitely not going to abandon them because I love doing that, but yeah, I'll try to keep things fresh around here. So if you like these types of videos, you can expect many more of them. I have a few ideas that I want to try next that I can't wait to share with you all. So please leave me a comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe. You can also support me even further by joining my Patreon or becoming a member right here on YouTube and get access to an exclusive Discord channel. I also want to hear from you guys some suggestions of things I can build in like 1 or 2 days. So please tell me what you want to see being built right here in the comment section and I might get to it. But back to the project, luckily in this build I used mostly good plastics when I was making the main body shapes. And by that I mean plastics like ABS that I can glue using this weld bond type of glue that fuses the plastic together, forming a super strong bond. Not only that, this weld bond type of glue allows me some time to position the piece, which is not the case with the CA glue. Now, unfortunately, this was not the case with the cargo shapes, but you'll see that in a minute. But yeah, having at least a couple of options of glue when junk bashing is key, as there are many different sorts of plastics out there, and let's say some are more challenging than others. I'd start with at least 3 main types of glue: the good old CA glue or super glue, some epoxy-based liquid glue, not the putty, and this weld bond type of solvent. For the challenging pieces that are, let's say, immune to most glues, one thing that can really help is adding some surface area to the piece, and by that I mean some heavy sanding. Just like I did in that one right there. It was immune to the weld bond type of glue, and CA could barely keep things together, so yeah, some sanding was required. If this was a bigger and more complex project, I would probably look for a better solution, or maybe a gribbly made from a better plastic, but this one looked so good for the build, and also its tiny little holes looked like windows, worked so well with the scale that I had to use it. The good thing is that it matched the bottom body piece perfectly, a happy accident. And from there I decided to use the same gribbly I used on the first cargo ship to create a sense of familiarity to the viewer. I have like a dozen of these in my collection, and so yeah, this is probably going to be like present on most ships on this merchant fleet project. Now the engine shape right there is a very interesting one, and I'm really curious to see if you guys can guess the source. This one is surprisingly super easy to find on a daily basis, so yeah, I want to hear from you guys your guesses. Now, here's a quick tip for you guys. Laptops are an amazing source of gribblies. As you can see right there, underneath each of the keycaps there's a mechanism with some tiny good looking pieces, especially for this smaller scale I've been working these days. And not only that, you can kind of cut the pieces into smaller shapes and use them in your projects. Not to mention the keycap itself is a good gribbly that I've been using in most of my projects. So yeah, look out for some dead laptops. Speaking of tiny little details, now we enter the detailing phase, in which I'll use the tiniest gribblies I have in my collection. In this process, I'm also seeing myself going for some gribblies that were just catching dust in my collection. So yeah, these smaller projects are not only super fun, but they're putting my good old gribblies to use, which is also a good thing. And here are the cargo pieces I just talked about when mentioning the types of glue. Surface area was critical in this gribbly, and hot glue was the perfect solution to that. It is reliable and it fills the gaps, and you might want to add that to the basic glue list I just talked about a minute ago if you're planning on junk bashing, which I hope is the case by the end of the video. As you can see, I'm adding some of the laptop keyboard pieces here and there and attaching some extra cargo at random. Not really worrying about placement, just having fun and adding things to catch the eye of the viewer. Then I applied a good coat of primer and I was happy with what I saw. I could keep the tiniest details alive, ready for the painting process, and the scale was perfectly matching what I had before. Now on this ship, I went again with the brushes, just like I did in the first one. Airbrushing is hard and time consuming, and I don't really feel it has its place on a quick project like this one. I mean, I might try it just to see if it's possible, but I'm not really sure. Also, this was not a one-day build process. I managed to make this one in 2 days, and I really think that extra time was worth it. I might try like a 3-day project sometime soon just to see the difference it makes on a build, but yeah, making this one in 2 days was super comfortable. There was no rush and very little stress, just like it should be. Time constraints are an interesting thing, and as I progress on this art form, I think I'm getting quicker and quicker. I really believe I couldn't pull this off a couple of years ago, and now that I said that, maybe that's the case with the airbrushing. We'll see. But my goal really with these smaller projects is to have some fun and, more importantly, inspire you guys to do the same. Get yourself some basic tools, start hoarding some plastic bits and pieces and have fun. If this sounds interesting, consider becoming a patron or a member, and you'll also help me making a living out of this. And as always, thanks for watching.